call to order the BZA meeting for Wednesday, August the 27th. You please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Quick explanation of the procedures. We will be hearing, we'll swear everybody in first that's going to speak, and then we'll be hearing the cases from the staff. We'll then give the opportunity for the appellant to speak, and after that portion, we will have the public will give their input, and then after that, we'll close the public portion. We'll then just have the opportunity, we can call you up if you spoke, and maybe cross-examine you or ask you some questions specific to the case, or for some clarity, and then we'll vote. And then after that, you're not obligated to stay for your case. Once it's completed, you can go ahead and leave for the evening. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome to. And then we'll do some unfinished business, approve our minutes, and then we'll do an adjournment. Can you go do a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bartolt, Ms. Owens,
Present.
Mr. Shupp,
Present.
Mr. Sydow,
Present.
Ms. Roberto.
Here. And notice we have an absence. We need to seat Ms. Smith. Is there a placard already up here?
Yeah, it is.
While we're doing that, we're going to swear you in. If you plan on speaking this evening before the board, if you please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm you will tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth before the Board of Zoning Appeals? Say I do. Thank you. You may be seated. Brings us to our first case of the evening, would be BZA 25-10. The applicant is requesting a use variance to permit an event center in the single unit residential zoning district. Does the staff have a presentation?
I do. First, I want to enter into record a sheet that you all have, which is an updated site plan. I've left it all your seats. I have a copy as well. It did not make it in the packet, but I'd like to enter it in the record.
And noted, the chairperson will have been in the record.
Thank you. Our first case tonight is BZA-25-10. This is for use variance at 2577 Adams Road. The parcel number is listed on the screen and in the packet. This is in our SUR, Single Unit Residential Zoning District. The applicant and property owner is Brian Odubla. This is a use variance request to operate a multi-use event gathering space. Activities meet the definition of a banquet hall in the use table, which is not permitted in the SUR Single Unit Residential Zoning District. There was a 2007 BZA case which approved a construction business, cabinet shop, and limited retail or office at this location. Then there was a 2009 BZA case which approved a child care facility which is currently operating on the site, and that was a lawful substitution of a non-conforming use. No approvals ever granted for a banquet hall and event use space use, though. The variance requires proof of unnecessary hardship, and the comprehensive plan of 2021 indicates that Adams Road is intended to remain a residential corridor. Excuse me. If you turn your attention to the screen, you see Pippin and Adams, a major intersection in the township with this kind of snake shape, and the Mr. Odubla's property is where this star is. Across the street, you have a large parcel that was formerly occupied by a school, potentially for future church use. And then we have a lot of kind of high-ish density residential housing in this area. This is more zoomed in. So this is the building in question. The event center would be in the space I'm outlining with my cursor in the back of the building. Right now they have a curb cut that allows access on Adams Road, and they have one on Coogan Road. This is a street view of the site. This is the curb cut going onto the property. This, where the cursor is back here, would be where the event center is, and there would be parking in the rear, if approved. The zoning issue at hand, at staff's opinion, the following are the primary articles or sections of the resolution that are most pertinent. A banquet hall is not an approved use in the SUR Single Unit Zoning Residential District. Staff findings. It's staff's opinion that the variance in question would yield a reasonable return. The property would yield a reasonable return without the variance. It's staff's opinion the request is substantial in nature, and these are our 7 Duncan factors which we use in Ohio to determine whether or not a variance should be approved in staff's opinion. The other 2 that I think are important in staff's opinion, the property owner does have knowledge of zoning given the previous BZA cases, and it's staff's opinion that the spirit and intent behind the zoning resolution would not be observed. So staff recommendation is denial. However, there is justification for either approval or denial. I believe that this request should be denied unless the applicant lowers the intensity of the site in some other way to make up for the raised intensity of the banquet hall use. And one way in which they could do that, if you turn your attention to the screen, would be closing this very dangerous curb cut. So on Coogan Drive right here, if you turn onto the road, the curb cut to this property that is right now a right in, right out only, is very close to the intersection at Coogan, and that's caused the site to have very high intensity. If the applicant agrees to close that curb cut in exchange for being allowed to do this use on this property, it's staff's opinion that that should be approved, because that could actually lower the intensity due to traffic issues that currently exist on the site. Mr. Roberto?
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Yes. Would you like to come and give your presentation, please?
Hello, good evening. My name's Brian O'Dubla.
And I could say if you state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Brian O'Dubla, and the address of the property is 2477 Adams Road.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Basically, at this site here, we're calling it sort of like an event center, but actually we're calling it like a family engagement center. It's going to be, usually people think about an event center, they think of large, dense, populated in terms of people coming in and party and things of that nature. That's not what this is, what we're trying to do there. What we're trying to do is kind of piggyback with our child care daycare center that we've owned previously for 16 years. We recently just sold it back to our employees that are currently operating it. We do own the building, but we do still have, interest, of course, in making sure that the daycare center is taken care of and no craziness is going on there, of course. So basically, we're looking to do something like have classes, like parenting classes for some of our parents that come in there to have, for our families. What else? Just having like things that engage just family. And that's basically what we're about, just about family, keeping the family together and having things for people to do. So we think about family things. People do, I lost my train of thought a little bit. Just regular engagement just for family. What I could say? Like I said, there is a larger event center that is next to the Dollar General Center. That's right down the street from there. And that's a real event center, which is a lot of square footage. This site is actually under 1,600 square feet. Originally, it was our school age room when we were operating it there. So basically, we kind of walled it off there and had a little space there. Because now, since COVID, daycare centers are not as viable as it was at one time. So it's a lot less, like I say, it's not a need for it, but it's a lot less for that. So we took that space there. So operation is still going on with the daycare center. So basically, we're just asking that the board to accept our proposal in terms of just having a space where we want to do trainings for CPR, first aid, things. My wife is actually there as well. She's actually certified for doing a lot of the trainings and things of that nature. And basically wanted to have things like we have parent counseling, do things of that nature, and have a event spot where people can actually rent it out, supposedly to have let me see, my mind's going blank on me. Just to have gender reveals, having baby showers, little receptions, just things that can do just for the family, not some big elaborate parties or things of that nature. And actually, this site, we will not have no alcohol will be served, no anything of that nature, nothing there, because like I say, we still have, our legacy is still Caring for Kids Learning Center, and we want to have anything that's going to disrupt that in that area. So that's pretty much. Then also here is the inside of the building right here. So basically off screen in the front of the screen, that's when you'll come in and the area where the gray is in the back part, that's like a little serving area that we would have, like for just serving tables. There's no kitchen here as well. So it's just basically people can just cater food or just bring food in. And off to the far corner left, there's 2 restrooms. We got the male and the female bathrooms. And then the parking lot part of it would be just, yes, more pictures there showing the serving area. And then currently right now, where the playground is or was, whatever, now we're gonna be putting the rest of the parking lot back in that back part Mr. Peters described.
Sorry.
Also use the front as well.
Okay, there you go. There it is.
Yes. And also we use the space also in the front as well and make the, as notated in the pictures, we'll have it to where the parking spaces are diagonally. And I also do agree with Mr. Peters saying about breaking it off. We had have issues in the past where we would always tell our parents to be careful of leaving out of Adams side going out there because sometimes you have people flying down that street. So there have been things like that. So actually, when he mentioned that, I think it's actually a great idea. That would actually, because the Coogan side definitely is wide enough where the exit part is wide enough to get 2 cars through there on the Coogan side, and that would block off traffic from there. And it actually will cut off from people coming through there because there's a stoplight right there at the corner, and people will come through, and we'll have parents coming across there with the kids sometimes, and they would actually drive through and cut through the lot, not want to wait at the stoplight. So that was definitely stop that. So I definitely agree with that. I wouldn't have a problem with doing that. And what else? I believe that's it. And definitely would never have no teen parties at all. Everything would stop with like having a little birthday party or something. We go up to child care center up to 12, but we probably stop at like 10 years old, having little birthday parties for the kids, but no party parties for adults.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
And you don't have to stay up there the whole time.
Okay, all
We'll
right.
probably call you back in a minute if you're complete with your presentation. We're satisfied. Too.
I believe so. I think I touched on everything for the most part.
Well, we'll ask you to sit down just for a second.
Okay.
And then we're going to ask if anybody else wants to speak for or against it, which is what I'll do right now. Anyone else here would like to speak for or against this appeal? I see no movement and no one has signed up. Do we have a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion to close the public portion.
Okay, a motion's been made. Do we have a second? Second has been made. Roll call vote, please.
Miss Owens,
Yes.
make sure that's on, sorry. Mr. Shup,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Miss Smith, Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Okay, Miss Owens, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I do.
Go back up.
Come on back up here and we'll, thank you.
I appreciate what you were saying about, use the words that'll be available for like family gatherings, and I think you said no craziness or what have you. And those are subjective terms. So I just want to know, what plans do you have to kind of ensure this? And well, I'll start with that first. Like how you define craziness is subjective to everybody. So what exactly are the types of things you have in place to ensure the types of gatherings that you want to happen at your site actually are the types that happen on your site?
Definitely we would have like security cameras that so we can see during the time that people were there, and also talk about that to potentially people that would actually want to be in the space, to let them know that this is a smoke-free, drug-free, everything free, basically, of no, how can I say, anything that would be detrimental to the area, to our businesses around us. Like I say, I'm a Colerain grad. I've lived in the area for all that. My mom still lives in Colerain as well for 40+ years. I mean, I definitely would not want to tarnish our legacy to have anything that's going on. That's why we said no alcohol.
Okay. So it'll be like open to the public though, like anybody that, like if your occupancy is what you feel like would be for that
About
room?
50 or so.
50, so if
Yeah.
I was interested in a space to host something for 50 people, I could just apply or, ask to request to use that space.
Correct.
And would you have any defined uses on that application?
Yeah, exactly. And basically defined basically what the examples I put on the paper at the bottom there, just basically specifying what we see fit in terms of what is going to be allowable. There's going to be nothing that's going to be tarnished, and
Okay.
potentially tarnished,
Okay.
the area or the business.
And this might be a question more for the staff. When we use the word banquet hall, is what you're saying is not permitted. But I also noticed he used things like trainings and classrooms. If it wasn't for the banquet hall I guess that's the part that refers to parties and small receptions, retirement parties. If he was just to define it as a space to have trainings and classroom presentations, would that still fall under the category as a banquet hall?
It's a great question. If a use does not appear on the use table, then it's not permitted by definition. So the only uses you can do are ones that are on the use table and permitted in that zone that meet the definition of that use. So what the applicant's proposing does not meet the definition specifically of any use. But banquet hall is kind of the closest use. So that's what we fall back on. Carly, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. That makes total sense to me.
Okay, so since we don't really have a specific use, like if
Pigeonholing.
you're an Arby's, you are a restaurant, but his use is the same problem we had in the redefined case, the event center he referenced up the street. We didn't really have that specific use on our use table, so we had to kind of specifically say exactly what they could do there, and we have not had any issues out of them.
But he could not do just trainings and seminars.
If that met the definition specifically of a different use that was permitted in the district, he would.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did say you were open to closing the curb cut.
Yes, definitely, yes.
I
I
don't
think
have,
that's a great idea, actually.
okay, I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Ms. Smith?
I have two questions, and I'm not exactly sure if they're best suited for that. Sorry, thought I was on.
It's okay.
Oh, that sounds better. Yes. So I have two questions. I'm not sure if they're suited specifically for yourself, the applicant, or for staff, so you can let me know when I ask. What is the remaining space in that building currently used for?
It's a daycare center.
It is a current open running daycare.
center. And that's why I was saying that. And if you read my, like the bio, like I said, that was a daycare center that we owned for 16 years. And we passed it along to two of our long-term employees that we had there. So we still have an interest for that building, so we would not allow anything to disrupt that for our legacy.
Okay, thank
Ms.
you.
Petty and I visited the site today and can confirm there's a daycare actively on the site.
Okay, thank you. So my second question is, would the use of this event space disrupt what is currently going on in the daycare? Would it cause traffic concerns? Would there be adequate parking? That kind of a thing?
No, and we actually, when you guys have that, we have to add parkings by doing the parallel parking. They suggested that when we first moved there, but we didn't have a need for it. So we just did the regular elongated thing, but now we're gonna go with the sideway. That gives us more parking there if need be. And then also, like, because the daycare hours, depending on the hours, most times they will already be gone by the end. So it depends on what we're going on. Trainings that we'll be doing that time, but it's not large trainings. We're talking about maybe 5 or 6 people, maybe a training for a CPR class or something like that. So we're not talking about large anything there.
Thank you. And one last question, more for curiosity. You considering this a rental? People would pay for the space or donate
Yes,
for the
yes,
use of the space?
Potentially. So basically, primarily, it'll be a training center, basically for us to do childcare. Like I said, we've been in the childcare industry. We help out other childcare business owners or their staff, trainings, things of that nature. That would be primarily what it's for. But we need to do something else to keep it going because it's going to be random. To keep it going. So there will be like rental things that we can do And that's when we can be more specific in terms of what we allow and what we won't allow there.
Okay,
that
thank you.
make
Yep,
sense?
you had mentioned that there'll be an application to fill out for the space, so there would then be, someone would sign for a certain level of liability. If anything happened, they would be responsible for.
Correct. And that's when we have a sign, some type of sign off or something saying, make sure that they understand the rules. Like, we will not have this won't be occur there, this won't occur there. And then also we'll be able to visually see ourselves. And I can verify that for myself to make sure.
Thank you, that's
Yes.
all.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Saito?
Yes, I have one question. You say this is a banquet facility or whatever and a daycare facility. Exactly where do you guys live?
Where we live at?
Yeah.
We live in Fairfield now.
Oh, okay.
We live in City Fairfield now, but we lived there for a long time, right around the corner there off of Miles Road. We lived there for like 10 years, but I grew up in Colerain.
Okay,
I graduated in 95, right in the road.
okay.
Yeah.
Because if you live there, you could have better control over it, but I was just wondering
Yeah.
where,
We're I think, within 15 minutes. We're 15 minutes drive. We're right off Pleasant Avenue. So Hamilton turn to Pleasant. We're 15 minutes away.
okay.
Yeah, so we can get there fast. Yeah.
No further questions.
Mr. Shup?
I have a question for staff. Sure. So conceivably, this could be looked at as a banquet hall. If the property were conveyed at some point, if this variance is approved, would that person just be able to continue, the new owner, what has happened there in the past, or would they be able to take it to the next level, like the event center down the street?
I think that if we are going to move to approval from denial, we need a specific list of uses that can go on the site, as well as some parameters that will protect against that, similar to the way we did in the redefined case. Something like hours of operation that you can agree with the applicant on, and certain uses that are less likely to cause things like teen parties or any of the, cautionary tales we hear about in some of these types of event centers.
Any other questions?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's it, thank you.
So that brings us to me. So security cameras are good. What kind of personnel is going to be on? You're just going to have, they're going to be able to walk in themselves, or are you going to have someone there to give them
Correct.
access?
For myself, most likely it'll be myself or my wife or something like that to make sure that everything is okay and they can leave like that. We haven't got fully into everything yet because don't know if we're gonna get approved. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't fully done like that. But those are my thoughts on how things will be. But definitely, where I can visually see everything inside and definitely be able to react if need be. But that was my first thoughts. Like that's what we say about the no alcohol or anything like that. Because I know it's one of the main things that causes problems with certain people in places like that. But again, it's called a banquet or event thing, but we want to look at more of like a family type of engagement type of center. So it's not like a huge place where a lot of people can congregate and things like that. It's not that like the event center that's down the road from us that was approved.
One of the things I noticed, if we talked about closing the curb cut, and you currently have your flow of traffic, we'll probably have to redesign your parking lot again.
Correct. It would just, that would be
Your angles
minor.
would be one this way,
It would
one
be going the other way, yeah, it would have to change the opposite way. But like I say, I thought that was a great idea to do.
Are you amenable to, in order for us to get the banquet center, which is on, was it Pippin Road? I think was the.
Yeah, it was at Pippin and Adams Redefined Studios.
In order for us to make that work, we had to be very specific to the hours, and we put that all in the variance. So we had the hours, we had what the use was going to be used for. Are you amenable to establishing that right here, right now?
Yes, we can, yes.
Okay, so what are the hours going to be?
Like I said, I haven't fully think, but I know right now for the hours there now, it's no later than 10 o'clock for that area, like what it's zoned for, I guess. I think it's accurate. I think it's 7:30 to 10 or something they have like that, but I don't.
Well, you're telling us, and we're going to either agree or
Okay.
disagree. So.
Probably for that side right there, it probably won't be known for 8 a.m. to maybe 10 p.m.
Okay.
it's open range in terms of like for like trainings, and then you have the other part of it for.
What, all right, so we've got, I've written down birthday parties for 10 and under, family training center.
Correct.
What are some of the other things that
It's like, say, for a person want to, I have gender reveal, or things like, say, go around the family, whether, I have it on that list there.
I think some of the ones we heard in the last case are repass,
Yeah,
church, are you gonna do any kind of
baby
ministry?
showers, things of that nature. Those are typically be on Saturdays. I'm assuming people will do it on Saturdays. But like the training part, that might be like from 8 to 5 or something like that for the trainings. But then you have the evening type of thing for mostly typical for events like that. And it usually be on Saturdays, on the weekends, I believe so.
would you have things like doula classes or
What classes was that?
birthing classes?
Yeah, I guess birthday class.
That kind of tying in with your daycare. I'm
Yeah,
not,
that can tie in, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I'm
but
trying
yeah.
to think of things that
Other things I can do.
they're going to enhance your business.
Yes, and that's the thing right now. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yes, I mean,
Could we just put medical classes?
That would be great.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know how.
That'll cover the CPR portion then too.
yeah. What do you think, Ms. Owens?
Thinking the hours of operation, would that cover the entire property, and it would be inclusive of those additional hours?
It
So
would only
when
be
you
for the portion of the property that had the use variance attached to it.
got it, okay.
And 10 PM, is that on the weekends too?
I believe so, yes.
Say yes, it's at 10:01, we're done.
We can, I mean, we can always go low, I mean, whatever, I mean, I'm open. Like I say, I've, what's where we thought about this plan, but we haven't got.
We're not trying to bully you.
Yeah, no, I
We're just trying to
understand.
make sure we capture
No,
what's
catch-
going to best serve your facility.
I understand, yes, yeah. I just know what is, I got open for right now, in terms of the building, the space there. I never really got into that far yet in terms of what we're doing, so we can define it, we can define it
I can
more
tell you
now.
that shame on you because you should have been better prepared.
Yeah.
Or would answer these questions.
I know, I'm sorry.
But we're trying to help guide you through it. So we understand that you're not going to have all the answers.
Yes.
So as of right now, if we were to make a recommendation, we're talking about baby showers, birthday parties for 10 and under, family training center for medical classes, gender reveals. Is it approved for a 50-person occupancy? That was one of the question marks I had there.
No, in terms of kids, we had, in that area, we had school agers in that room originally.
Yeah.
I believe it was a thing for 57, I think, was in that space.
So
but we
the
have not-
fire department actually approved it?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So for occupancy of 50 people, you're talking about potentially, you will close the curb cut.
Yes,
On the property, you're gonna have security cameras, and the hours will be from 8 AM to 10 PM. Did I capture the essence of everything we talked about?
yes.
Mr. Roberto?
Yes, sir.
So when you say close the curb cut, can we specifically say they need to take out all that concrete and replace it with dirt and either gravel or,
Berm or,
yeah, it needs to be replaced with something so that it's not, just doesn't magically have barriers moved in 2 years and then it's reopened.
No, we're not
So-
doing, yeah, I understand.
And then
so
since,
there will be a cost associated with that.
Yes, yeah, I know, yeah. Try to figure that out, how we work that.
since I didn't have time to review all that, I just want to ask our law director here, Ms. Sherman, does that sound like it's legally sound?
As far as the conditions that the BZA can place on this variance,
Just those specific conditions, are you okay with them?
yeah, I'm okay with them, but I mean, ultimately, the engineering of that site and the traffic patterns are gonna have to be reviewed by probably additional agencies other than just us, so.
I would agree with that. So and you'll end up most likely taking this parking plan to Hamlin County
Yeah.
to get it approved, especially since you're talking about a curb cut change. But if we give you the blessing, that's, it's to your advantage.
Yes.
I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have anything for staff or for the applicant? Does anyone want to make a motion? Don't all come forward at once.
We have
read
to
to you-
set
I can
all
read
the
to you a motion
conditions.
if you
That's what I
want.
was gonna say, I need the conditions.
Okay, here. I'll give this to you. Better for you to word it yourself. I'll repeat it. You understand my chicken scratch?
like to make a motion that we approve the applicant's request for the variance with the following conditions. And conditional uses are baby showers, birthday parties for children under 10, family training centers, gender reveals, birthing, or any medical classes. Occupancy will be limited to 50, or at least what is approved by the fire department. That there are security cameras in place, and that the curb cut be closed and replaced with a berm.
Hours.
And that the hours will be from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m.
Okay, motion has been made with all the conditions listed. Do we have a second? Or do you have any questions? You
I
can-
have questions. Should we, Ms. Owens put in, remove the curb cut and
Yes, and add a berm.
a permit berm?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other clarifications for a second, or does anybody want to second it?
I'll second the motion.
Second's been made. Now, any discussion? Roll call vote?
Ms. Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Shup,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. So, staff will go ahead and write it up and what the conditions are. Do you need you got the,
I may need that.
so, I mean, I think it's a great compromise. I think you're doing good things for the community. It doesn't fit in our pigeonhole of, so that's kind of why you have to go through this process. And I
We
appreciate you
understand.
taking the time to do it.
Thank you
It's
guys
important,
for the time.
it's important to train these young folks to,
Yes, it is.
to stay families and be families.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you so much.
Thank
Be
you.
in touch.
All right, that brings us to the next case of BZA 25-25. The applicant is requesting a variance to permit the construction of a privacy fence in an unpermitted portion of the applicant's yard. Does the staff have a presentation?
Yeah, we do.
Thank you.
So the next BZA case is BZA-25-25. The address is 11736 Kettering Drive. This case type is a variance. The parcel number is listed on the screen. This address is located in our single-unit residential district of Colerain Township, and the applicant and property owner is Richard Breeze.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? You got more to give. You have more
We
to
have a
give.
little bit more. I mean, we could skip through it.
That's all right. Go. I'm ahead of myself.
Okay, some details about this case. This property is located on a cul-de-sac street in a dense residential area of Colerain Township. The property has historically had a fence surrounding the lot. This proposed fence is intended to be a one-for-one replacement of the pre-existing fence that's on their property. The proposed fence is it's going to be 6 feet tall, and the problem with that is located in the front and side yard of their property, which is prohibited within our township as of 2024 of our new resolution change. Next. This is just a zoomed out view of the area. The highlighted section or parcel that you can see in the lighter blue is the property. Just south of it is all the residential neighborhoods. You can see a southwest school to the right, and then a cemetery above with some more residential surrounding. More of a close-up view of their property. Their property is outlined in the red, and you can see the cul-de-sac and the adjacent properties around them. This is a site plan that the applicant had given us. The blue line just indicates where their privacy fence is on their property and where the transition is from privacy to 4 feet. Yeah. Okay. And then our township only allows privacy fences to be halfway up. Oh, can you go back?
Oh, yeah.
To be up 50% of your house, which is indicated by that red dashed line right there on the screen. The applicant's desired location would be at that kind of corner cut, yes, right there, to have the 6-foot privacy fence go up to, and then going towards the street would become 4 feet. But if it were to be approved, they'd be okay with also the privacy fence just going up to the corner of their pool. Okay. The issue with this for zoning is that with the location standards, the privacy fence is not, the privacy fence may encroach into side yard up to 50% length of the side wall of a building, which you can kind of see on the other graphic below. Staff findings through the Duncan factors, as Mr. Peters explained before. I just wanted to highlight 3 of them that I think are most important. Number 2, it is staff's opinion that the request itself is substantial in nature. Number 5, it is staff's opinion the property owner did not have prior knowledge of the zoning restrictions. And number 7, it is staff's opinion that the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and substantial justice would be done by granting the requested variance. And for these reasons, staff recommendation is conditional approval, with those conditions being the applicant is permitted to put their fence to the desired location of the pool, on the pool side of the lot, and the second one being the fence between their property and 11740 Kettering Drive is only permitted to be 50% up the side of their house, which would be our requirements. Mr. Roberto.
Thank you. Now is the applicant here. Come on in, give your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Richard Brees. I am the owner at 11736 Kettering Drive.
Thank you. You have a presentation?
No, just to kind of reinforce what we were proposing is that we just want to maintain the current layout of the fence as it was. Particularly of interest of us is on the pool side. The side that's on the other house, it's not really a concern for us to meet the requirements or the location standards. But for the pool side, for mostly privacy and just to maintain the look and feel we've had for the last 10 years or so.
Okay. Very good. If you want to just take a seat right there, we'll probably call you back up. Mr. Saito, do you have any questions for the applicant? I mean, hold on, I've got to get to the public portion part. Anyone else here speaking in favor of the appeal? Anyone speaking against the appeal? I see none. Can we close the public portion?
Make a motion to close the public portion?
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second discussion? Roll call vote?
Ms. Owens?
Yes.
Mr. Shupp?
Yes.
Mr. Sydow?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Roberto?
Yes. Now, Mr. Saito, you have a question for the applicant?
No, I don't, as long as he is willing to make the fence 4 foot. And not like by the property line.
Okay. Mr. Shupp?
No, I have none.
Ms. Owens?
No question.
Ms. Smith?
No questions.
So it appears to me that you've had a fence for some time, and it's just going to be a like and kind replacement?
Yeah, we were going to repair it, but it doesn't look like that's really going to get the outcome we want, so we just decided to do a full replacement of everything. When we did have like the estimate come through, they said that we may have a problem with the permit, with it having to be like 50% visibility and 4 foot high.
So you're having this professionally installed?
Yes, yeah, May fence.
Perfect. I have no further questions. Would anyone like to make a motion? You can sit down.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the variance with the staff recommendations that the applicant be permitted to put the fence to the desired location on the pool side of the lot, and that the fence between the property at 11740 Kettering Drive is only permitted to be 50% of the side of the house, extending from the rear yard.
Okay, motion's been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second's been made. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Ms. Owens?
Yes.
Mr. Shupp?
Yes.
Mr. Sydow?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Roberto?
Yes. Good luck to you, sir. We're looking forward to a new fence, and I'm sure it'll look spectacular. Thank you. Our next case, BZA, I'm going to get to my agenda here. BZA 25-26. The applicant is requesting an appeal to allow for a reactivation of a non-conforming sign. Does staff have a presentation?
I do.
Thank you.
Our final case of the night is BZA-25-26. This is at 9403 Colerain Avenue. This is an appeal of zoning administrator decision. The parcel number is listed on the screen and in the packet. This is in our AMC Avenue Mixed Central Zoning District. The applicant and property owner are Kenneth Carl. The applicant wrote a letter that was included in your packet, and to summarize the applicant's position, the permit was denied. A permit was applied for a ground sign at Mimi's Nails. The permit was denied on the claim that the sign was abandoned as of November 2022. The applicant states that the sign has been under lease since March of 2023 to Empire LLC at 9405 Colerain Avenue. The sign faces were blank or removed while awaiting the new graphics and township approval, but additional zoning issues with Empire Smokes prevented the installation of the new sign graphics. The space was later leased to Mimi's Nail Salons, and a permit for her panels was denied for the sign having been abandoned for over 2 years and losing its non-conforming status. The applicant argues that the sign was never abandoned since it remained under lease. He claims that the township's abandoned sign standard is arbitrary and blank panels made the sign appear abandoned. Staff's response to that letter is included in the packet, and to summarize that response, the appeal concerns a denied permit to install new faces on an abandoned pole sign at 9403 Colerain Avenue. The nonconforming status was lost. The sign has displayed no bona fide message for over 2 years, which is in Articles 4 and 5 of the zoning resolution. Lease agreements do not equate to land uses. Zoning requires continuous physical use, not private contracts, which is what leases are. Blank faces or outdated panels, either one of them, they both count as abandonment. Intent for a future graphic is not recognized under the law. Enforcement is consistent and fact-specific, not arbitrary. Evidence of abandonment in this case is very clear. The comprehensive plan calls for eliminating obsolete pole signs, and that is in an effort to revitalize Colerain Avenue. Staff has offered lawful alternatives for new signage and the support for variances that would allow for new attractive signage on the site, but the applicant instead opts to attempt to revive this outdated and illegal sign. Revival of this structure would be legally impermissible. The recommended staff action is to uphold the denial and require demolition. The township will and remains committed to assisting the applicant have new, modern, compliant signage solutions. And if you turn your attention to the screen, you can see the sign in question. This is how it's looked for over 2 years. Blank on both sides. There are panels and white panels in there. This is the proposed sign. In your packet, it has the word proposed over it, but this is just an artist's rendering of what Mimi's Nails sign would look like in the cabinet. This is just Google Street View, and it shows, since November 2022, it's been blank, so our new resolution passed November 2024. So there's no question that they were abandoned for over 2 years and lost their legal non-conforming status. Mr. Roberto?
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Yes. Want to come and give your name and address for the record, please? Give your presentation.
My name is Ken Carl, and I own White Oak Properties number 2, LLC, which owns 9403, 9405, Colerain. And I think the whole gist of this, if you read their side, Mr. Peters' side, and my argument is whether that sign was abandoned. And I'm adamant that it was never abandoned. And I just realized when he was reading his case here that in the original claim that was abandoned as of November 2022, and that was definitely not the case. I think the picture you put on there was as of November 22, but that wouldn't have been 2 years at that point. But anyways, a little background. I've owned that building for at least 32 years. And I think it was my first building I bought in Colerain Township, and it's been a great building. And for the first 27, probably 28 years, it was totally leased, and the sign was always used, and actually both sides of it. Then the pandemic came along, COVID, and things got a little weird with all my properties, not just this one. But I was leasing the building to some people that literally they leased the building, they were paying me rent for the building, and they never moved into the building. And, you know, it's pretty tough to force them to put up a sign in that situation, but they were paying me rent and just never moved into the building. So, and what they were leasing was the building and the sign. That sign is a very important part of the building, because it sits right there. It's not Mall Drive, but the drive that goes back to the mall. And so in any case, it was my thought, it wasn't abandoned, it was being used. When Check and Go moved out, I required them to put the 2 white panels in, or actually 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. And so it was sitting there. It wasn't like a nuisance, or it didn't look bad, but yeah, it didn't have anything on the panels. And you know, over the last few years, some things did transpire with the space, and we had some zoning problems that delayed getting the signs faces on there. But again, it wasn't abandoned. It was still a very viable part of my building. And now I've got a really good tenant. It's a nail salon, and they want to use one of the sides, and they've been turned down because of this abandonment. I think that's it.
Thank you. Anyone else speaking for this appeal? Anyone speaking against this appeal? See no motion? No one else has signed up? Can we close the public portion? Can we have a motion to do so?
I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second's been made. Roll call vote, or discussion? Roll call vote.
Ms. Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Shupp,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Ms. Owens, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay. Ms. Smith?
No, no questions.
Mr. Sydow?
Yeah, I do. In the years before Mimi's Nails went in, who was the tenant then, and why didn't they put up a sign?
Okay, so the last tenant that was in there long-term, Check and Go, was in there for, I'm guessing 25 years. Probably. I don't know. 20 years at least. It was actually one of their first stores in Cincinnati. And they liked the space a lot, and they eventually wanted both sides, 9403, 9405. So they did have a sign up until, David may be able to tell us, but probably, I'm guessing 2020, something like that, 2021. And they had actually took both sides of it, because they took both sides of the building. So and then when they left, they were kind enough to put up the white signs. And then that's about when the pandemic happened. And I rented the space to a number of people. It was crazy. They just never moved in. I rented to a company out of Columbus that was providing home health care services. And they paid me 2 years of rent. They never came down and got in the space. Then I rented it to a medical supply company. And again, they never entered the space. I'm pretty sure that company did put up a sign, but it wasn't a permanent sign. It was some sort of sign, and maybe they had a permit, maybe they didn't, I don't know. But it was some sort of banner situation that they put over the sign. And they were out in Hamilton, and so they were kind of using the sign, I'm almost positive. And then, but they never moved into the space. So no, nobody ever used it until this tenant at 9405, probably a year and a half ago, was going to put up a sign, and they took out the sign panels. And I just happened to be driving by there, and I called to him and said, hey, make sure you get a permit for this. You can't even change the graphics. You can't change the graphics without getting a permit. So I asked them to contact Colerain Township, and that's when they found out they had other zoning/permit problems. And I didn't know whether they filed, requested that, or they were dealing with the other problems. So, no, they did not.
All right.
And then since then, Mimi's is the first one that was going to put up the sign. My tenants, both these tenants that I've got now are immigrants. They don't speak good English, and they don't know all the rules and regulations, and they're at a disadvantage for that. I kind of try to help them, and I'm always encouraging them, go see our friends at Colerain Township and make sure you dot the i's and cross the t's. Do they do that? Not always, but I encourage them strongly. And it's not the only building I've got in Colerain. I have a lot of buildings in Colerain, and I same policy in all of them, particularly nowadays, because these guys are pretty adamant of getting this all done. So I'm whenever I lease to somebody now, I always say, hey, before we even start, go talk to Colerain Township, make sure this is gonna work out, because they may not want you here.
Okay. No further questions?
Mr. Shep?
No.
So do you have it in your lease or your agreement that your tenant is supposed to uphold the laws of zoning to keep you out of compliance with zoning?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So why didn't you as a landowner or property owner enforce it when they had the vacant sign there, when you had a tenant? Why didn't you enforce them to put a sign out there?
Well, that's a little difficult, and
No, it's not, it's in your lease agreement. It's not difficult at all.
At that point, I never envisioned that they were not adhering to the law by not putting up a sign. That never crossed my mind.
Okay.
And I ask, did anybody think that by not putting up a sign, you're doing something wrong?
That's what the zoning ordinance was put in place for, and it's been, I know we've updated the signs, but it's been there for a long time. So you as a business owner are supposed to be aware of the zoning laws within your business district to make sure that they're enforced and captured in that lease agreement that you have with that tenant.
Still though,
No, there's no still though. It's because there's a difference between a residential buyer and a commercial buyer. Commercial buyer is supposed to be savvy enough and know enough about business to make sure that they stay within the law. A residential, that's why they have a residential person has an agent that represents them to make sure that they stay within the law. 'Cause you don't have that.
you got kind of an unusual situation here though, because you have somebody that's leasing a space and they don't move in, and you really don't want a sign up, do we? We don't want a sign up where a tenant's not in the space.
It's your space ultimately. It's
Exactly.
not the tenant's, right?
Right.
So it's your responsibility to make sure the sign is kept in a condition in which it is a viable sign. So right now, it's not a viable sign, it's because it's blank. It's not representing anything. It's not representing anything for 2 years.
Exactly, but I think this is an unusual situation where the tenant doesn't move in, and expecting him to put up a sign seems like an unusual requirement.
Is it in your lease agreement?
In my lease agreement,
Okay, then that's it, right there. It's in your lease agreement. You're the one that's been telling your tenant that it's got to be done, and you'd enforce it. So it goes back to you. You're the own the property.
I see where you're going with this.
I believe me, I'm a commercial owner too. I understand, and you got to make sure you, as the owner of the property, stay within the law. It's not your tenant's responsibility; it's your responsibility. You own the property.
Yeah, but to require somebody to put up a sign when they're not there,
It's in your lease agreement.
yeah, well, I think that would be difficult to enforce.
Why? You evict them then if they're not upholding the lease agreement that you've established with your
In
tenant.
the pandemic, I didn't want to evict anybody because it was a situation where I was just happy to have a tenant. And
So then it would behoove you to then put something in the sign on their behalf to keep the sign active.
I think it's an unusual situation, and I'm asking for a little grace here. Because going through the pandemic, it was some very unusual situations, and believe me, I was very happy to have any tenant.
And I respect that. I went through the same thing during that 2019 to 2021 period. Again, I've still stayed within the confines of the law during that time frame.
Well, I agree with you, and
So
I can-
but the staff has made a presentation to you as to how you can have a sign there. What's wrong with the presentation they gave you?
Well, that's a good question. And they want me to lower the sign,
Which brings it in compliance with the current sign regulations.
kind of, yeah. But at this particular location, I don't like the idea at all. First of all, the visibility goes way down because there's cars constantly, it's right there by where people exit the mall.
I know exactly where you are. I mean, and matter of fact, there was an extra pole sign there. I was going to question is,
It's not on his property.
who's it belong to?
It belongs to the grocery store, and it's going through the same process that the ones at the trustee meeting
All right.
last night.
It's a side point, sorry.
And, yeah, so anyways, there's tons of walk-by traffic there, and I just think the sign would get damaged there if we had a sign at ground level. In addition to that, as I think David knows, we're looking at redeveloping this whole property, and if that gets done, then everything will change. So it would be a cost, hopefully, that would be a short-term cost to lower.
Is there signage on the front of the building? I thought there was.
Is there what?
Signage on the front of the building?
Yeah, they have wall signage.
All right, so, I mean, why is this an issue? You got signage on the building.
And Cheddar's has a sign around the corner that's never been damaged.
Well, there's several, I dismissed that because there's a lot of properties around the corner that have that. If you're gonna redevelop the property, and again, it's a non-event, because you have signage on the building. Why is now these particular signs so valuable? Because you already have signage on the building.
Well, first of all, we've been talking about redeveloping this. It's complicated because we're looking at doing something with Mall Drive there. And we've been working on that for probably 5-6 years. And so it may take some time.
Sure.
And so that's number one. And number two is one of the tenants, the Mimi, the lady who applied for this sign, she's put a lot of money into the space, and she's a nice lady, and I want to help her any way I can, and I think the sign would be.
So there is no sign on the building that's gonna represent Mimi on the face of the
Yeah,
building?
there is a sign on the building, but this would be a much better sign on Colerain Avenue.
Your opinion. In Colerain Township's opinion, it's not, because it's not in compliance with the ground signs that need to be there. So, I mean, right now, it is a.
I'm not arguing that it is in compliance. I'm arguing that it should have never been considered abandoned.
But it was abandoned. It was blank for 2 years, therefore it's abandoned. And by the definition of the zoning law, it was abandoned. Whether you want to admit that or not, you had a tenant. Having a tenant is irrelevant in this case. You had a sign there that was blank, represented no business, and it was confusing to the public.
Because it was blank.
Sure, it's not saying
I
anything.
agree with you there.
Well, that's what.
There was nobody in the space, so I don't know why you would put a sign up. That
So-
would be more confusing.
So then you
than
put
if one
you
up.
put available. You put something in that space that makes it an active sign.
I disagree with you on that. I think it would be more confusing to put something up there than when there's no tenant in the space. You know, if I put, I forget what the name of the company was, Plymouth Healthcare, up there, then somebody's gonna think they're in the space, and that would be more confusing than leaving it as a blank space.
So you
So
had,
actually, being blank in a way was representative and was actually describing who was in the space, which was nobody, even though it was leased.
sure. I don't agree with that either. We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Well, we can argue this to the end. So it is, I'm done. Anybody else have any questions for the applicant or for staff?
Yep.
Anyone want to make a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to deny.
A motion's been made. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second's been made. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Miss Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Shup,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Miss Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. You've been denied, sir. Wish you luck.
We'll be in touch.
I see no unfinished business.
Correct?
Approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from July 23rd, 2025?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second's been made. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Miss Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Shup,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Miss Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Our next meeting is September 24th. We have a case?
No, our next meeting is October 22nd. We had no cases for September.
Okay.
Sorry, guys
That makes Mr. Shep very happy.
and ladies.
He's traveling across the world, over the seas. Administrative matters?
None.
And do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made, and do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second's been made. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Miss Owens,
Yes.
Mr. Shup,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Miss Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Meeting adjourned.